Okay, we're on the last step. Had hot water in these jars, sat for 20 minutes, put it back into the pot, and added sugar and salt and vinegar, let it come to a boil, put it back into the jars, let it sit for 20 minutes, and now I've just taken it all out of the jars, and it's going to boil up again. But in the process, I always do an extra pot of cucumbers here, because I know that these compress down and I want to have a full jar. So just so you can kind of see, it looks like they're kind of full, but as soon as I start pressing on them, I can fit at least 2 more cucumbers in here, sometimes even 3. And once I get it full, I put the cap on it so I know which ones I've worked with. And sometimes I pull the small one out because these are a little bit bigger in here. And I think I did like, for the other pot I did 3 for each one, but I think for this one I only did like 2, and about half of them have a third one. So we'll have to see kind of how they go, if I have enough or not. And it makes them a little bit more flexible once they've been cooking. Oops. Sometimes I think, you know, wow, I'm going to have all these extra cucumbers, they're not going to fit in, but they actually do really well. Like I said, from the other one I did 1.5, I think it was. Or 2.5, I'm sorry. And I only had 1 cucumber left over. So I'm not sure if that's gonna, oh, there we go, it fits down in there. So sometimes you just gotta move them around a little bit. It definitely gives a lot more space. And you just gotta learn how much pressure you can put on them and how much you can't. And again, it's just kind of like a puzzle. I usually keep a knife handy so that I can cut some of them in half, fit them in there really well. I can always come back if I have a few extra. I've got towels under these because I end up, when I'm pouring, I miss the jar some, or it hits the stacked up cucumbers and it spits it out. That one's a little bit bigger. Kind of take the small ones out because they're easier to fit up in the neck. One thing I can definitely say is my hands get so tired, you know, because of washing the jars, you know, where you have to hold them and scrub them and all that. And then, of course, cleaning. I'm glad I had the guys to help today because that usually wears out my hands a lot. But then stuffing all the cucumbers down into the jars is really hard on the hands. Get a good workout. I tell you what, my hands have gotten a little bit thicker. When I first moved here, I saw a lot of older women's hands and they were just like thick and muscular, and I was like, oh my gosh, you know, they've got really big hands here, but really it's all the work. And I'm developing some muscles in my hands as well, but I don't know, I've got really skinny fingers, so I don't know if I ever had the really big ones like some of the other people here do, the ladies. But they definitely get a workout. Let's see, I'll come back to that. I put towels under these, because I do sometimes spill, and they're not sliding as well as over on the metal countertop. Short one maybe. Last year when I did this, my sister Brenda and her husband were here visiting and helping us. Dave was helping us build the roof for the pavilion. So it was really nice to have her and chit-chat and talk the whole time. Let's see, that's a screw-on one. The guys were kind of funny today when they realized that I was videotaping. They got a little bit excited and they waved at the camera, which you'll see if you watch that video. And then they started telling stories and anecdotes and being funny. It was kind of interesting to see them do that. Let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 of those left. So. Probably could have put a few more in this pot. That's it. So now, the stove can be a little bit noisy, so I had it down. I'll let it come to a boil. When it comes to a boil, I'll pour the water back in here, and then I close them up. I seal them, and we put the number 20 on for the year. We don't put any other description because it's very easy to see these are pickles, Whereas with some of the jams, I kind of put, the first 1 or 2 letters of that jam so we can at least identify it. So that's kind of the process. Looks like I've got cucumbers probably for 9 to 12 more, which I'll do tomorrow. And then we'll set up another time where Mark will go get 2 or 3 more boxes of the cucumbers, because I really need anywhere from 65 to 75 of these. I count out the weeks, and if we've got a full house in the winter, then they go through 2 of these jars. And usually it's pretty cheap. I mean, cucumbers, we're buying them right now when it's the cheapest price. And of course the salt, sugar, and vinegar are pretty cheap, as well as the rest of the ingredients. So this gives them something that they can eat. They really like the pickles. we use them in all sorts of things too, you know, tuna salad sandwiches or potato salad, those kind of things. So I've just kind of played with the recipe through the years and come up with one that's really, really good and just stick with that. So anyway, this is the third, I think, of the videos, and I hope you enjoyed it and, you know, watch it and see some more of what we do. So I'm going to say goodnight for now.